It was really, really admirable of them. But then, as in comedy, they wanted to get funny very quickly, which I sort of wish they hadn't gone quite so quickly. So they brought in David, who was fantastic, but then it became, first they brought in Jim as my dad, and that was lovely. And then when they brought in David, yes, quickly they wanted to get funny very quickly.
He is sort of a quick step to comedy because he is inherently hilarious.
Yes, he's inherently hilarious.
I can imagine on the set he was never off.
He's a jokey guy.
Yes, he does seem like a jokey guy. Are you Winnie the Pooh?
Yes.
Hello, Winnie. What's your question?
First of all, I'd like to say thank you for coming to Liverpool. It's amazing to have you here. So, love Futurama. Leela and Zap are quoted very much in the household I come from. My question is, what's your opinion on their relationship dynamic? Because it's just this very pathetic, egotistical man and this woman who can just very clearly kick his ass whenever she wants. Just, what's your opinion on that relationship dynamic? I mean, relationship in quotes there.
Well, he'd like it to be a relationship.
Yeah.
And she clearly has his number, He's just a narcissistic, he likes to mansplain. He's that guy. And I think Zap just can't believe that she doesn't fall for him. And I think she just likes to play with him.
Yeah, because Fry and Zap seem like they're almost on the same wavelength of being man-children. But whereas Fry's very sweet and innocent, Zap is...
completely.
That Brannigan.
Yeah, Zap is a bit of an a-hole, as we say.
I read Zap Brannigan was described as if William Shatner was actually Captain Kirk.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the funniest thing ever. Kif informed the men I have made it with a woman. Number one.
Hi, so you talked about Christina Applegate, and I wondered, what was your experience like having a sort of another reunion with her on Dead to Me?
Oh, that was fantastic. It was hard. The first season I was on Dead with Me, I was just with Linda Cardellini. The second season I was on is when, Chrissy had been diagnosed with MS already. And so I did the last episode of the season with her. And it was hard on her. And so that was hard to watch. But she, was a trooper and she got through it. And, Christina is a wonderful actress. So it was always, even in adversity, she was a wonderful actress. So it was great to work with her.
Thank you.
It's a really good show, that as well. Number two, hello.
Hello. Do you have any pets at home that you'd speak to in a way as Leela would do to Nibbler?
Well, I do. I have 3 dogs, and I have one little teeny dog that's this annoying, wonderful little mutt. And, I yell at him a lot because he doesn't stop barking, but I adore him at the same time. So I'm not quite sure that I would rate. And then my other 2 are big, enormous dogs. So I'm not sure that would be.
Could you say he's done a bobo?
Would I say what?
He's done a bobo, like Nibbler's done a bobo?
No.
Can you say it?
Can she say it?
You give us your best go.
Nibbler's done a bobo.
And that was a great big pile of Starship fuel. Number one.
So basically, we grew up in my house watching Married to Children, and we loved it, and we named my dog after you. We did. We called her Peggy Bunzy. She didn't do nothing other than what she wanted to do. But I really want to hear you say, "Oh, ow!" Please.
Oh, ow!
Thank you.
It's crazy because obviously you're sat at your table doing autographs. Can you guess the fandom of the person approaching you for what they look like? If someone turns up in a leather cut, you're like, Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah. Well,
Someone's got a big beehive, Married with Children.
Yes, absolutely. Well, a lot of people are wearing their son's stuff, their T-shirts and their cuts, and yeah, I can usually tell. And then, I'll get some purple-haired people that are Leela fans. And I was a couple of these cons, I've had Peg Bundy walk up to me. People dressed as Peg.
She's a style icon.
She is a style icon.
That should come back. I feel like it is making a comeback in some way.
She could. She's very 80s. Isn't that the hip thing now? Leopard is very in, right? Yep.
Leopard print and
Here
big
you go.
hair. Number 2.
Hiya, Casey. Sons of Anarchy is probably my favourite show in the whole entire world, and Gemma is my favourite character. Out of all the shows you've done, which is your favourite?
Well, it's hard to say because they're so different. I mean, the most iconic ones I've done really are, well, there's Leela, but there's also Peg and Gemma. I would say, you know, because the genres are so different. Gemma was really great for me because I had been doing comedy for so long. It was hard for people to allow me to have that kind of role. So, you know, kudos to my husband who wrote that part for me and was able to, you know, understand that I was also a dramatic actor. So as far as a drama role, I mean, she was the best. She was amazing. But then for a comedy, you know, it's really hard to say. They were so different. But because I loved playing Peg also. So I don't know if that answers your question.
Oh yeah, that's great, thank you.
I chose 2.
Yeah, that's fine. Thanks.
It's really difficult because obviously some people go their whole career and not have one iconic character, and you've got like 7. Like,
Yeah, I have quite a few.
Yeah.
It's great.
it's good, isn't it?
It's good.
It is good.
Yeah.
It gives me loads to talk about. We've got 5 minutes left. I'm going to say we've probably got time for 2 questions, so we're going to do number 1 and then number 2, and then we'll see where we are.
Hello. I was really struggling to think of a question, to be honest. But I was wondering, as a performer, what was one of your roles that you perhaps wish hadn't have done, and what is one of your proudest moments as an actor?
A role I hadn't have done, I wished I hadn't done. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Let's see, that I hadn't done. I've enjoyed most of them. I made some really awful TV movies in the 80s where I was, you know, one movie in particular, I remember I was playing a cancer victim who I hooked my husband up with the nurse that was taking care of me. Oh, I'll tell you the one I did a show called Boston Legal. Do you know that show? All right, so I did this show called Boston Legal, and I had a recurring role for the entire season. And the very last episode, it's this big murder thing and who done it, who did it. I have a scene where I make out with my son. It was gnarly. And I was like, I couldn't even watch it back. I was just so shocked and appalled. And it wasn't that you know, as an actor, it's always nice to be challenged, but that was a challenge I could have done without.
Number 2, hello.
Hello, my name's Hannah, and thanks for coming to Liverpool, Casey. I loved you in loads of shows, particularly 8 Simple Rules, because I grew up on that. But I also really liked your character in Lost, and I was wondering, what was it like working with so closely with Terry O'Quinn?
I love Terry O'Quinn. The interesting part of that job was that this was right when I was coming out of doing a lot of comedy. And this came across us, and I had to go in and audition for this role. I think they brought me in 2 or 3 times because they were so, you know, when you're on television as one particular character, they're so paranoid that you can't do anything else. It becomes like, so I think they wanted to make sure Peg Bundy wasn't going to be on Lost. And I was able to get that role. And then Terry was fantastic. I loved playing with Terry O'Quinn. He's not only hot, super handsome, which is always fun, but also a great actor, really great.
Thanks.
final.
Yes, to Bulgaria. Last
Yes.
question.
Bulgaria has lots of questions.
Absolutely. So the final one. Imagine they invite you at Christina and David for one final episode of the Bundies in 2024. How do you manage Peck, how Kelly and Bud? Can you describe how would you imagine them in 2024?
You know, it's interesting. You know, they are in the middle of pitching an animated version of Married with Children. So I don't know if it would pick up where they left off. If it was in 2024, I don't know. I think they'd win the lottery or something. And then they'd spend it. And then they'd ruin it. Somehow they would lose all the money.
Because that's the fun, isn't it? The fun
Because
is
that's the fun. That's the Bundys.
Yes, it is. Yeah. We've got. I think that's probably it. I think they've all run away from asking questions. But 1 minute 37 seconds. Do you want to talk about?
Do I want to talk about something? Talk about something. What do I want to talk about?
How are you finding Liverpool? You enjoyed it?
I'm sorry, say again?
How are you finding Liverpool?
Well, I haven't really seen much except out my window and the drive-in, but it's charming. I love the UK, I will say that. I shot a show in Wales, I don't know, 5, 6 years ago we did a show, and Kurt and I got a flat in London. It was so wonderful, and then we kind of drive back and forth. I loved Wales too, but I really liked staying near Regent's Park. That was so lovely, yeah. So I love being in this part of the world, and I'm sure I will love Liverpool if I get out of my hotel room.
And I'm sure that we are all super grateful and we super love having you here in Liverpool.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You having a good time? Go on. Man, I'm not even supposed to be here today.